Would you consider yourself an empath or anything, or?
Definitely. Definitely. I've kind of seen it as a curse, unfortunately.
Mhm.
It's I've been feeling very, very sensitive to energy lately. So yeah, um, it's been a little overwhelming for me. So I'm really happy to be part of this.
Well, this is a good place to be then. Uh,
Yes.
there's definitely being an empath can absolutely feel like a curse. And so, as where I'll start with is there's really 2 points in which we live through life, and that's we are both a transmitter of energy. We transmit energy out, and we take and collect energy in. And empaths tend to stay in that observational state of taking it all in. That's like a
Yes.
quite constant place that they tend to be, and so it can feel like a curse. And most of this is like, you get a lot of people saying just create a bubble of energy around your body. And that doesn't really work for a lot of people because there's no
Yeah.
meaning behind it. Or they say, you know wear this stone or whatever. But no matter what you do, if the intention that you create within is that you feel that you're taking it in and on, no matter what you create around yourself or where, you're going to continue to open your field up to take it in and just be the receiver. So, the environment around you is either happening to you or you're the thing happening to the environment around you. And so we could take and look
Yeah.
at like extremely happy people like this, like nothing phases them no matter what, because they're in this constant state of being the thing that is happening to everything around them. And everybody else is attuning to that frequency and becoming like them and then becoming happy. And so we have this we have this torus field around our body, right? And as we open that up to take things in, the reason we feel like, oh, this is like energy vampires or anything like that, the reason we feel is because you ever heard the term we're vibing? um as two of those come together, there's one here, it'll create this synchronistic uh infinity kind of symbol between the two, and they'll start to resonate. Like one frequency will start to alter the other until they meet in the middle. And so
Yeah.
if you're taking the energy on, then you're adjusting to their frequency, and it feels really uncomfortable from the state that you're typically in. It's taking you down into theirs, and you're going to start to resonate into their field with them. And so that's a lot of that whole aspect of feeling so deeply. It's really everything in this life, like we're the observer of life, and so whatever we create observation to is what's going to collapse energy into matter that creates the reality that we experience. And so I talk about this thing called the three tensions that I've kind of created around life. And there's the intention that you set, and there's the attention that you focus on, like you pay attention to what the intention is, and then the physical
Yeah.
movement outward, whether it's like a conversation or at that point creating a bubble of energy around your body. But you've got to have an intention set specifically to the energy that you put around yourself, and then really take a minute to focus on expanding that around your body, holding that intention and solidifying it around you. So those three things, it's a trinity of manifestation. And if you use it for anything, whether it's manifesting what you want in life or just to not feel so much, you set the intention to, I only want this kind of energy to come into my field, and you focus on what that energy feels like, what it looks like, experiencing it, and then you put this energy bubble around your body and just breathe it out, just with a breath, push it out, see it, feel it, experience it, know that it's there. And then hold the observation throughout your day or wherever it is that you're going, that like, no, nothing's going to affect me to that because I'm holding this state. I'm the thing happening to the environment around me, not the other way around. And so creating these observational shifts is what's going to turn what you have considered a curse into more of a
Yeah.
miracle. And
Okay.
does that make sense?
It does. That makes a lot of sense. like I'm so used to life happening outside of me and kind of serving everything outside of me and giving my power away. And now, there are people intentionally trying to get into my energy, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Mhm.
So it's like I have to completely reverse that.
Yeah.
So it's really forcing me to go back to who I really am inside, like the I am, I mean.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, so
Another thing that really helps with the bubble you put around yourself, a really good one, is to imagine it just being a mirror all the way around, a perfect sphere that's a mirror. So whatever it is that they're trying to get, they're just going to reflect and they're going to get themselves. And then it'll just kind of bounce back and then they'll kind of take their focus elsewhere. So it's
okay.
like these energy vampires, like when they feel subconsciously feel and experience light, they feed off of that light and they want that light. And I mean, they might not even know it. And so when you do that, it'll kind of deflect that subconscious intention coming from them. So they won't get that from you. And then another point that I'd like to express on with being an empath is that you were made to feel. You're supposed to. An empath is an emotional pathway. And we live in a world where generation upon generation upon generation has really pushed back emotions and expressive feeling and all of those things. And so we're the generation that's making up for it all. So we went from a generation to being basically numb like several years back to now it's like all of a sudden everybody's feeling everything. It's like a dam that's
Yeah.
broken and it is just
Yes.
flooding in.
Yeah.
So imagine trying to narrow down and focus Niagara Falls through a straw, like funneling it down through a straw. That's going to overcome you. It's going to feel intense. It's going to fry your circuitry. No matter how you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to feel this, it's going to be a lot to take on. So if you just create the intention that your energy field opens up as a massive tunnel that can easily take in all of that that's coming through and allow yourself to feel, but don't attach information to what the feeling is. Because the moment that we attach any kind of information whatsoever to what the feeling is that comes through, it creates a tension point where we contract. And then that's like dropping it's like putting a dam down in through like a little stream and then the water starts to back up and then it starts to overcome us again. It starts to build up. It's like, oh, the pressure starts to
Yeah.
get greater and greater and greater. So this energy goes where the tension, wherever the tension goes, energy flows. And so it's like if you can imagine standing in the center of a trampoline, no matter what anybody puts around on the trampoline, it's going to fall right down into that central tension point. And you're basically like, because there's no hole for it to move out through, it's just collecting and collecting and collecting in the middle. And when we just let it flow and let ourselves feel everything that's coming through, just let it feel, let yourself feel it because it needs to come through. Anybody that can feel this deeply, empaths, you are the thing that's allowing it to flow through to transmute it up what's been needing to transmute through the generations of your ancestors or anything else in the world, even the land that you might be in. There's so much energy in the world that needs to be transmuted up, and it happens through the movement of beings in the flesh. So the earth is like a battery that's specifically been left on a charger for thousands of years with so much chaotic dense energy that's been being packed into it. It just kind of can't take it anymore, so it really needs our help to allow it to send it to. But if we just like, oh, this is too much, then we're contracting, cutting off the flow and making the earth kind of take it back. And then the more this happens, the greater and greater storms are going to get because it's going to come to a point where it forces the transmutation to happen. And that if it comes to that point, it might not be so pretty, if that makes sense. The storms are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like poking a bear. Eventually, the bear is going to turn around and rip you to shreds.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
I definitely feel that.
yeah, just holding observations, like it's okay to feel like you're meant for it, you're made for it, which means you can handle it as long as you create the mind frame around being able to do so and know that it's, it's part of one of your gifts for humanity, for all of humanity, not even just humanity but all of life and the planet as well. It's a gift to be able to take and feel so deeply and allow it to move through so it can go up and out.
Okay. Thank you. That helps so much.
You're welcome.
Hopefully it gets easier.
Set the intention.
Yeah.
Always set the intention, whatever. So, like, you hear about meditations, right? People go in to meditate so they can focus on a singular objective and get away from the clutter of all the thoughts. And they use a breathing exercise to hold them there, to get them there, keep them there. But we forget that life is a meditation and that our very breath itself is the breathing exercise that keeps us here. And if we stop, we're going to be out of this meditation pretty quick. And whatever we focus on throughout the day, every moment of every day is what we're going to manifest in our reality. And so be like getting into that whole I am state, that takes a level of dedication to be completely mindful in a constant every moment of every day, knowing where you are and what you want to be expressing, creating, feeling, all of the things, holding the observation on what you want to focus on, what you want to feel and experience. As if you're getting ready to go somewhere and you're like, oh, I don't want to go there, it's going to be a lot of intense energy. Well, you just started to manifest that to happen and you haven't even gone there yet, because that's what you're already observing. And the light, like life, it's truly like a blank TV screen, and there's infinite channels to whatever you want to observe. And whatever you start to observe is the channel it's going to flip to right away, and it's going to give you exactly that. So be
In a
mindful.
more, sorry,
No, no,
sorry, us.
I was just going to say, be mindful of the intentions you set.
Yeah. In the morning, I can set off and I'm fine. I go out to work and I'm fine. And then things happen in the day and I can't hold that all day and things happen and it just all goes. It
Yeah,
just goes.
yeah, that's okay. It will. No one's perfect, you know. I'm definitely not perfect. It happens to me too. And when it does, is what I do is I just center myself, take a few breaths, remember where I want to be, reset that intention, and then go about my day. And if you
Yeah.
do that several times a day, that's then do it. The trick of this is to create a subconscious programming. So like if you practice and practice and practice, we become great at what we practice, right? So the more you practice, the more your subconscious mind will start to actually do the work for you. And you'll get to a point where things really start to just not bother you anymore. And you're just used to letting everything come in, letting everything go out, and everything's just perfect, just as it is, and nothing really bothers you. I mean, there are other factors that come into play, like we've become disconnected from the planet in a way that we're not grounded. And so I don't know if you ever stand on the earth barefoot, or if you have a grounding mat or a grounding sheet or anything like that. That really helps too, because each time we start to contract or anything like that, we're electrical beings, and being cut off from the planet, there's nothing taking this static electricity that starts to build up around our field. There's nothing taking it, so it just builds up and builds up and builds up, and it starts to create inflammation in the body, and it starts making us anxious and nervous, all these different things.
Yeah.
And so if you need to just take your shoes and socks off and stand on the ground for 5 minutes or something, that'll take all of that you're feeling around you and just take it right into the earth. That also helps recenter yourself really well pretty quickly. Is also, it's a really powerful exercise.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
And grounding sheets are, you can get a pretty small grounding sheet for like 40 something dollars, and comes with a pretty long cable, and you just stick it on one end. It just has a little rod that goes into the grounding part of your outlet. and so there's no electricity coming to it or anything like that. And I recently got one. Actually, Lynn gifted me one. She's such a sweetheart. And when I first laid on that, it was like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like laying on a brand new bed with the freshest, softest sheets and the fluffiest like pillow topper you could imagine. Like
Yeah.
the energy that I felt, it was just so peaceful and real.
Oh,
I really need that.
yeah.
I'm buying one right now.
That was my experience. I hope that you have this. I hope you have one just as good. It
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
awesome. My wife laid on it, and she didn't have restless leg syndrome that night and slept a lot better too. So I mean, it helps with a lot.
Right. It's good. I've written that down. Note to self. I'm going to treat myself.
Beautiful. Is there any questions that either of you have?
I think for me, the biggest thing is like healing trauma from the body and how best to do that. Like, because I feel like sometimes I try to do it psychologically, um, and I don't know if that really helps. like I'm trying, I don't know if I'm getting lost in stories on trying to heal that. I think it might be better just to heal it literally in the body with light.
Okay.
So I'm kind of alternating between both.
Yeah,
So
well, both is good. I'll give you a powerful way. Like, if are you aware of where it's at in the body and stuff like that?
yeah, because there's like, I don't know, I have these weird entity attachment things happening, so I can feel the energy in my body. So yeah, I try to remove it, but it comes back like instantly.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
So the only way you can actually transmute energy and heal is through the energy of love. Love is the creative force of the universe. Everything comes from it and returns to it. It is much more than just like an emotion that we all know so well. It is a literal, the frequency of creation itself. And some shamans will just like send things, they'll take things off and they'll send it back where they came from, but that's like it's not really sending them home back up into the light where they really want. They attach to us because they want light. So take your a practice that you can do is take the hand that is your dominant hand and put it. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm experiencing something like right in the center of my head. So I'm going to take my right hand. This is the, let's say this is my left hand is my dominant hand, which is going to naturally push energy out in the natural flow because I'm used to projecting with my dominant hand, right? And my other one is naturally going to pull energy in. And so I will take my hand and I will place it not directly over my heart, but just to the side of it where the vortex is actually bigger, not where the hole is where it enfolds. So just to the side. So I'm pulling energy in from my heart, and then I'll place my hand somewhere like near where that's going to create this flow that will come in this hand and out this one from my heart. And then while you're doing that, like wherever it is you're feeling it, put your other hand like wherever it is that you're feeling anything, and go to a moment in your life where you felt so loved or wanted, accepted in any way. Find just one place in time where you felt that, and go back to that moment and really feel into the gratitude of that and how much love and expression you felt during that time. And if you can start to feel that emotion swell in you, just keep feeling into it more and more and more and let it fill you up as you're doing this. That way you create an energy in motion as you create that emotion to start swelling. And as you're doing that, it will amplify where your hands are. It'll amplify your entire electromagnetic field because the love, the energy of your heart is so much more powerful than any other energy, and it'll start to break away and detach anything that's there. And as it's done through love, it transmutes it up to source, so it doesn't come back again. So
okay.
love is the key.
Okay, that helps. Thank you. I was thinking it was light.
Everything is,
Love makes more sense.
even these entities are made of light. They're just made of a lower spectrum light that we can't visually see with our eyes. But everything is light. And so it's kind of, you know, if you just say light,
Yeah.
it leaves it a little vague and open for the universe to be like, oh, well, it's all light. So
Yeah.
here's this.
So true. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a genie. You know, you got to be a little more specific with what you're wishing for. Otherwise, you know, you might end up. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen Aladdin, but you know, wanted a prince,
Yeah.
wanted to be a
Yeah.
prince or something, and brought him a prince or how
Yes.
something like that. But yeah, so creating and holding observations and more positive observations throughout the day, knowing that it's okay to feel, that you're made to feel. And then on top of that, just setting that boundary around your being. And if you feel like it comes back in, something happened within the intention where you went from being the thing, sending out information, to bringing it all in. And so just resetting it, take a few breaths, reset it, go again.
That
And the
helps. Thank
more
you.
you practice, the better at it you'll become.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's practice. I need to really practice this all the time. Yeah.
Yep, we become great at what we practice. And if we practice taking it all on, man, we will become so good at it.
I think that's what's happened to me because I'm just like so overwhelmed at the moment and actually like feeling quite depressed about and I think it's everything that's going on. So
So, as you're feeling things coming through, do your very best to not attach any information to what's causing it or what it means or any of those things. Because if you start to create the observation of depression or sadness, then it will start to crystallize into the energy to bring more of that into your field. So it's like we're a magnet, right? And if you take a magnet and put it in a box of sand that also has iron flakes, it's not going to attract the sand. It's going to attract only the iron flakes. And so, flipping that framework to us as a being that's a magnet, we attract specifically the things that we observe. And so, if the magnet could switch its observation and say, well, I just want to attract the sand, then it would attract the sand and not the iron flakes. So we specifically attract into our field whatever it is that we focus on. So if you is when things are coming through and they feel like a lot, just slow yourself down, take a few breaths, just like 4 second intervals is what I found to be really natural with the planet. Four
yeah,
seconds in, sometimes hold it for four, breathe out for four. And if you'd like to, even hold it out for four and just reset your intention. And another way to empower this is as you breathe in, as you're holding your breath out, set the intention of what you want to experience and then breathe that in. Because every breath we breathe in, information comes in. As we hold our breath, we're solidifying that information within us, and we breathe out what is not serving to meet what the intention is that you have set. And then you hold it out, locking it all in there even deeper and locking everything out. You take another breath in, you're breathing in what you're focused on. And you just keep doing that, and imagine it just filling you up like a glass of water.
yeah, yeah. I'm just taking notes. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, take notes.
yeah.
This will be available afterward, right?
I could send it to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna have to reabsorb this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information for a short little free class for sure. And if you're not used to it, it can be a lot. So many people give so many vague responses to empaths, like just wear this stone. It's like, cool. Now you have a stone
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
still taking everything on while you wear it. Or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and it's like, cool. I just created a white bubble of energy around myself, and I still feel everything because the intention was just a white ball of energy around yourself. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I've done that.
Intention is crucial, it's key.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing for a lot of us empaths. For me, it's like I learned, to be all love and light, and I'm supposed to help people, and then I just like completely just wasn't looking at my shadow. So now I'm being dragged there by entities and just things I didn't even know existed. Like there's somebody that I knew from the past that's like constantly putting love spells on me to stay in my energy, and it's like bringing all these entities in, and it's really painful.
Mm.
But I know it's part of me owning, like all of me coming back to myself. Um, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you ever feel like people are creating these attachments to you, one thing you can do, have you ever seen James and the Giant Peach?
No, actually, ugh, I've been meaning to though.
Well, that's a
Like when I was a child.
that's a sin. I'm just kidding. Um, okay, well, imagine just like all these strands coming up off your head, like just like a strand here, 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 and all these, that's what all these are.
Yeah.
Take your hand and just imagine it being love. And with love, you're going to cut all of these cords that are being attached to you and just take and wipe it right across it and hold your space, breaking all false contracts that have been made to your being. So you break those tethers that people have created into your field. So it's almost
Okay.
like, imagine an entity standing next to you, and it's the specific energy of something that tempts you, specifically like to you, something that tempts you. The minute you give in to that temptation and do it, the energy of its essence then goes into your field, and it starts to recycle, creating this pathway with it. And it's like a false contract. And so
Yeah.
it needs you to feed into, it's not like it's like whispering in your ear like do this, do that. It's just that they resonate at the frequency of the information that you are being tempted with. And if you pull that into your field by moving through with it, or somebody setting something up, if you start thinking about them or an emotion occurs or whatever, you dropped it in. And so when you do that and state that you've broken all false contracts made with to your being, then you get rid of all of that. And then it's to be real mindful from that point on to what you're allowing yourself to do.
Okay. That helps a lot actually because it's all subconscious. I don't even realize the energy's there, until I feel the pain in my body. So I have to kind of bypass that. It's like I have to do something that's yeah, from the I am presence really. It's not something I can deal with mentally or try to cut out even by healing my subconscious. I
Yeah,
realize. So
it's actually
yeah.
it's through only the observations that you create that things can actually attach to you, because we all came from love. We all resonate an aspect of love along with everything else that we imply on top of it. So if we just know and you hold that knowing in your being that you are the ultimate light and nothing has power, dominion over you, then nothing can attach to you. It'll just be shaken off. It'll just be shaken right off. So like, I mean, I can see spirits and different things like that. And I've seen things just straight running at me like they were gonna jump into my field. But then
Yes.
about 15 feet away, they smack into a concrete wall because like I'm not having it. It's not gonna happen.
Okay. Good to know.
You are the light. There is nothing in the universe that has more power than you do. Being in the flesh, you are the most powerful being in the universe. And that's something that humanity has forgotten.
Mm. Thank you. Even just talking to you, I can feel some of the energy, like, fighting. Like, I can feel kind of it dissipating a little bit, so that helps.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Is there any other questions?
I know I have 1,000 questions, but I'm like, I don't even know like where to start. Everything I feel like I'm facing right now is something so strange that I can't even talk to people about. So it's really nice to have this conversation. So
I get that.
yeah.
There hasn't been too many people in my upbringing that I could really talk to about anything. I just had to witness everything going on around me and observe it in silence for all my life, and really started to come out a lot more now. Since I've turned 33, it's like an explosion has just occurred, and it's just like time to move and time to start talking and getting things out there.
I feel that now. Yeah. Like just who I was a year ago is like dead, basically. It's, I feel like we're all transmuting and transforming so fast right now. It's really crazy.
It is. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of light entering into the world that's really speeding up it's accelerating the spiritual journey within. It's accelerating the evolution of mind, body, spirit. That's actually something that I do when I do sessions with people and stuff. Like everywhere I take my energy, it hyper accelerates their spiritual journey with little bits of wisdom that I drop, or just my energy coming into their field, or whatever it might be.
I feel that actually. Yeah. I think that's what I'm feeling right now.
I think I do. I'm a bit speechless.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Yes, that's a really good way to put it.
And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go, oh my goodness, all those questions I've got. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Well, I will. I'll be posting this somewhere, and you can always find me. You can always find me somewhere dropping bits of information, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube, or I also have a website. I am the light.love. So, did you go through the website to find me?
I went on the website and I've also seen your little clips on YouTube. And I love the little clips on YouTube. They're great because they just brighten you up and go, oh, yeah, yeah. Like you say, brings you back to remember and like staying mindful all the, you know, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm really here for, is to help humanity remember, and specifically remember just the love. Remember love.
yeah,
It's the most important thing. It heals all. And when you love the things you feel, they can't affect you because you're happening to them. Might not be easy,
Mm.
but when you get there, it's worth it. It's worth the
yeah.
practice. Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Austin, because you've been doing it like sort of all your life, do you have to consciously still think about it, or um do you just naturally hold that all the time? Does that make sense? Hold the energy all the time, or do you have to focus and come back to it, or do you just naturally carry it all the time and not have to think about it?
Yes and no. It's kind of hard to explain. I think I mean, if I'm to talk on like my memories of coming into this world and before coming in here, because I remember the asking to incarnate here and everything. It's the specific body that I have, the energy signature that it holds on to is the vibrational frequency of the creation of love, that creative core of the universe. but of course, I absolutely feel really deeply. I mean, I feel, dare I say, everything. I feel everything going on in the world. I feel everything before it's going to happen. I feel it as it's happening. I've always been able to see so many different pathways that humanity could take or is taking. I've always been able to feel it with every different sense that I have, and all of it in every way. And it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. And as that happens, I do just what I'm talking about. And I just sometimes I'll go outside, stand out there barefoot, and I'll just take a few breaths. And when I feel a little overwhelmed, I'll just get back into my heart, know where I want to be, know what I want to see more in the world, hold that feeling inside of me, and then just send out love. And I just imagine I go into a space of gratitude, to fill myself up with it, and then I take in with my imagination, I just send it out, and I fill the entire world with it, everybody, every being, everything. The
Thank
imagine
you.
Yeah, thank you.
the imagination is, we've been brought up into a society where it's like we're taken away from our imagination, like get away from that, that's make believe, stop daydreaming, whatever. But the truth is there's a really sinister plan behind that from the other side that doesn't want us using that. The imagination is 90% of this game here in life. It's 90% of it.
Wow.
It's not a make believe imagination, it's the creative window in which we manifest in the heavens, the heaven of our being, that we then go, we see it and experience it, feel it in our imagination, and then we manifest it into reality. So it's so important to use your imagination.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I have a very powerful imagination, and I like to use it for creativity, but lately I've been using it just in fear. So that helps. Thank you.
The thing is anything is possible. We're capable of anything, which is why no thing could truly define anyone. So whatever you can imagine, just imagine more of it. Imagine more love, more peace, more harmony, people coming into their hearts. Whatever it is you want to imagine, whatever it is that you want to experience more of in the world, let your mind just wander and get lost into a vision.
Yeah.
You
I'm wondering if there's like a difference between this is a weird question. Like sometimes I feel like there's a difference between like source and creator, or is it just one and the same?
Yeah, well,
I don't know if that makes sense.
the central core of the universe is a multidimensional pillar, a solid state of unconditional conscious love. So there is a consciousness to it. And as what it is, it looks like a singularity, like a torus field. And that is the image in which we were all created in, because that's the image of our spirit. And so talk about enlightenment for just a moment. So many people are seeking enlightenment, right? But before we came here, we were the wholeness of the light. We were the light. We were observing the whole experience as just one thing. And so to become enlightened, we came into the light to gain clarity on singular experiences. And so
Okay.
our spirit made in the image of God. So we're God turned inward on itself to see more of itself, which created us in its image, so it could have more finite, detailed expressions of the wholeness of itself. And that's where we come in here to create experiences and live life. And when we live our life in the energy of love, we're always connected fully to that. And it's not like a being in the clouds that's like just waiting to damn all of humanity. Like that doesn't make any sense. It never made any sense to me anyway. A lot of people would beg to differ, but it doesn't make sense to me that a being that is of all unconditional love, that's teaching unconditional love, that's up there anxiously waiting with a lightning bolt in its hand to cast it down on a humanity, saying, "Ha, got you." like it doesn't make any sense to me. So God is not a
Yeah.
flesh and bone, but God embodied is of flesh and bone. And that's what Yeshua came into the world to express to humanity, that this is it. This is the paradise. Heaven is it's found within us. And once it's found within us, it's then experienced around us. And you can be in heaven with everyone around you. It doesn't mean they're going to be in heaven with you. But if we could all get there together,
Mm.
then heaven will be upon the earth for everyone, and this will be paradise for everyone. But it is and always has been still. It's just that we
Mm.
create observations to create different experiences within that.
That makes sense.
So, for instance, if everything is created in love through love, God wasn't what created the flood. It was when mankind turned away from love, which was the creative energy we are created from, our natural state. When we moved away from that, it created a resistance in the flow of energy, like putting a dam in the middle of a river that caused something to build up and build up and build up, like, on the other side of that dam, and eventually got so full that the dam broke and it just wiped everything out. It creates these massive states of resistance in the world because we become disconnected from our natural being.
Ah, okay. So the creator, you could maybe say, is the ego,
The create
collective ego, or
I mean, technically we're the creators. We everybody's here together, but everybody has such a unique, different reality. Nobody's two realities are the same. So we're all creating an aspect of reality for reality to exist as a whole. Source is the energy of love that's holding it all together. It's like the container containing it that created all of it to be. And then we come in and as creators start to move the energy around by defining it with other energies, other states of mind, other beings and stuff.
right? That makes sense. Okay. So it's like the ego is the creation of the creator, but not, yeah. No, that makes more sense.
Yeah, we're not like egoic God, like walking down the street like, hey, you have any idea who I am?
Yeah.
It's a little different than that.
Yeah.
Although it would be kind of fun, I suppose, but
Yeah. Those superhero movies.
right.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Yeah. Because I think I'm like trying to balance the masculine, feminine energies within me. So I feel like that helps a lot.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna say something, Allison?
I was just going to say, is this why we're having a lot of natural disasters now? As in, like, the volcanoes are erupting, there's a lot of flooding going on now, because you were talking about that just before, and it seems to be happening now. It's almost like Mother Earth's, she's had enough, and things are just, that's happening as well, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's not just happening in us, it's happening actually in Mother Earth as well.
Yeah, it's because I mean,
Yeah,
notice where the most chaos is where the most disconnect has taken place. It's where
yeah,
the most wars have happened, the most just all of the most chaos of history that has taken place is where all of these things are happening first. And yeah, it's like I was mentioning, because people are becoming so disconnected, the more dense energy that they carry, the more they pack into the earth, because our beautiful earthly mother, she's always trying to help us out, but she can only take so much before she starts to move. And
yeah,
it's she's wanting to move around and shake us off like fleas on a dog and get that itch off her back.
yeah,
If you can relax.
Mm,
Everyone's
wow.
poking at her constantly with all of this chaos. And so I created a TikTok a long time ago. I don't even know if it's still up, but I talked about this a little bit. And as these storms come through, people are meeting them with fear, which is like throwing gasoline on a fire. It's like, please, like,
yeah,
it's really like if we sit with our Mother Earth and say, okay, I feel you, I see you, I hear you, I know what's going on, and we just start to let go. And as these storms are moving past, if we just let go of everything that we're holding on to, if we're willing to let go, then it will be taken up. And the beautiful thing about letting go, emotion is the currency in through the transactions of our manifestations in life. And so as we let go of these emotions we're holding on to, you can use it as a currency to ask for something to come in return to replace the space that it left. Because if something goes out, something comes in.
Yeah.
And so that's why gratitude is so important, because when you use gratitude, you're not only asking, but you're giving thanks at the same time because you know it's already
Yeah.
happened. And that knowingness is where the power comes through.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's any way to like consciously work with the planet where you are. Like say I'm going for a walk. Is there a way to like kind of
Yes.
work with Mother Earth in a way to help her? I feel like she wouldn't need my help, but the way that you put it, it sounds like we should probably be more conscious of that.
So there's a few things you can do. Something that's come through pretty strong this year is to take a seed. It doesn't matter what kind of seed. It could be a corn seed, because corn's really easy to grow. Anything that's just so easy to grow. If you go stand outside barefoot, hold the seed in your hands right next to your heart, and just communicate with the earthly mother. Say a little prayer, letting her know that you want her in your life. You want to experience her more. You want to be in her life, for her to experience you more, to create this entangled web between your spirit and hers. And then plant the seed, nurture it into a plant, and that will create an entanglement in the electrical current between you and the earth, and it'll draw more of her awareness towards your field and your space. So there's things that we can do like that that'll create physical movements of her knowing, like, okay, they care, they care, they care. And another thing
Wow.
you can do is like,
Mm.
let's say you're going on a walk. If you can imagine a green bubble of energy around your body so far that, let's say you're in the middle of the road and it's moving through the houses on this side and the houses on that side. As you're walking down the road, that green energy is love. Love is actually the color of green. So if you hold that intention on your walk, it's like a walking meditation. Hold that intention of love so that everywhere you walk, the ground, the people, the plants, the animals, everything that you move through, is you're moving that love through as well. And that love will create a natural transmutated cycle as well.
I love that. Thank you. I've done that
Wow.
before and I didn't think it did anything, so I just didn't do that anymore.
It absolutely.
But I'm gonna do that with intention. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Wow, I feel bad. I still feel so bad for the planet now that you put it that way.
Well, don't feel bad. Feel love and know that it's going to be okay, and know that we've already won. We've already created the movement that she's needed, and we're just taking the steps and walking through it right now.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. Creating that knowing. Were you going to say something just a moment ago, Allison?
I would just say, like, wow, amazing. It's just hearing it from you. It's just, I feel so much better already.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what you've got to do, haven't you? Because listening to you, Austin, it's like, I totally understand what you're saying and can see it, but it's reminding myself to do that every day. And you've just got to be so present and remember these things and how to be. And it's you've just got to hold that, haven't you? And it's like you've said before, it's mastering doing that, living your day moment by moment, in this crazy world when you're at work. And it's, yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's, you know, we're in a really fast-paced, kind of chaotic world, but love is truly the easiest thing to do. It takes no effort. It isn't draining. And the more you do it, the more you get, the more
Yeah.
energy you'll get. It takes a lot of energy to hold a grudge, or to be upset or depressed or anything. It's a constant drain, and really just getting back into that presence of love and holding that love. And if you're having a hard time feeling it, just go back to a time in your life where you did feel it so intense that you can bring that emotion back into this present moment and hold that there.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love is, it's so important in so many different levels. And it's been made to be so many different things in this world. It's been sexualized, it's been manipulated into so many different things. And it's almost like to get our attention away from the fact that it's the creation, and it's the healer of all things.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning. It's not an emotion, it's about like honor and the I am, integrity. It's like because I don't know, the weird situation I'm going through with this love spell thing. It's kind of I've kind of been trying to block out even the idea of love. But then when I return to actual real love, I can see the illusion of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like what you're saying. Like love has been so corrupted, like with all these movies and everything. It has nothing to do with what's portrayed.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm learning,
It
big time.
becomes an emotion. Love, before it's an emotion, is everything. It becomes an emotion when we open ourselves up to something that we enjoy, and we allow that energy to come into motion and move through us, and we feel it on a deeper aspect. It becomes an emotion. But there's such a power to it before it's an emotion that has been forgotten.
Yeah, yeah. That's been a huge, huge lesson for me. So yeah, thank you for that.
Welcome. That I'm able to be of assistance to you both today.
Yeah, it really does help. I feel even just talking to you, it's like I have like this feeling of remembering just the truth of life. I don't know how to put it. Um, it's like a simple truth that it's hard to express, like how I felt like as a child and I knew what life was. Um, yeah, if that makes any
Didn't think
sense.
about it so much. It's not so much in here, but right here. It's just a feeling.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's exactly it.
that's right. Is there any other questions either of you have?
Actually, I do have one question. I'm just wondering, what's the best way to clear your chakras, or does like just meditating help? Like, does that do enough to just clear chakras, or do you have to be very intentional to clear them?
Well, everything moves through intentions. So if you set the intention, then that also helps. Um, Sending energy to those areas, putting your hand or your heart and moving it to each chakra area, holding it there for X amount of breaths, right? That can help clear it out. Lynn also teaches a course, that I'm present in this course, helping her teach it on clearing your chakras and opening up all your clairs, the different senses that we have, that we allow spirit to move through us. And I'm actually in the making of some chakra shirts that will help, create a subconscious programming in your being, so you can go about your day
Mm,
and allow this process to take place as well. So you're letting that 90% of your being do the work, while the 10% is moving through the day as well.
I love that.
That
But
sounds good.
as a quick answer, using the flow, the natural flow of the energy of your being to guide it in those areas and stuff would be, I would say, the a good
Yeah.
route. And if you want more, you could connect with me and Lynn in the master class for the clairs and chakras. Um, and here shortly, like I said, I'll have also some little technology shirts and stuff for it as well.
Yeah.
And actually, we are hosting a retreat in Hawaii in December where I'm going to do like the Seal of Seals activation and clearing in the body, where I take and clear and activate your being from the very origin point of your creation to right now and everything in between. Clear everything up and realign your being, realign your energy, and then hold this I am like Christ consciousness seal over you and activate it around you. And so we're doing that to kick off the chakra world tour that we're going to do. And now next year, we're going to be going to all the chakra points of Mother Earth to do some clearing and energetic entanglement with that as well.
Wow.
I so wish I could go on that. I can imagine.
Perhaps you can.
Yes, I'm gonna set that intention.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, intention. That's what I have to learn. Intention, intention.
Intention, attention, and the physical movement that will be the steps in getting you there.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.